Welcome to another episode of Women Investing in Women. Robin and I are thrilled to week after week speak to different women and girls to explore where they are going in life, how they have been lifted up, how are they lifting other women up, and how do we create the circle of support where women lifting up women. If you see our episode releases, you will see the music starts with one woman going up, and as she's going up, she is pulling another woman up, and every woman has a hand held on to the woman above her and then pulling a woman from right beneath her, so that like a human chain, we're truly taking each other on a journey. And that is what life is supposed to be. Sometimes it feels like things around us is taking away our ability to be who we are and support each other. But how do we break through all of those and lift each other up and invite others to lift us up? And that is the theme of the conversation. And you're going to love the young lady we have today. Take it away, Robin.
All righty. I am so excited to have Izzie Reil on our program. And Izzie is a young woman. She just graduated from high school, Crescenta Valley High School. Congratulations. And what inspired me to invite her to be on our program is during senior recognition night. Izzie is part of my congregation. And during senior recognition night, I was asking her, because she's going to UC Berkeley. Congratulations, getting into Berkeley. And I said, what made you want to go to Berkeley and study engineering? That's her interest, is studying engineering in Berkeley. And she said that when she went to visit the campus with her parents, there was a female engineer, one of the leaders in the program, who had created a whole welcome program for these young women wanting to get into engineering. And this woman, female engineer, was just so warm and welcoming and encouraging to these young women that really inspired her and motivated her to want to go to Berkeley instead of any number of schools that she could have gotten into. And so that's what inspired me. So my first question, Izzie, is tell us a little bit about your interest in being an engineer, and what was it that this woman did that really sparked you and helped you feel uplifted and strengthened?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for having me. And honestly, I think for engineering, I've just always had an interest in math. I really enjoy math. I struggled learning reading when I was younger. And I know teachers definitely really doubted me as a kid just because it took me a long time to learn things, but math was the first subject that started to click for me. I was able to solve problems and learn equations a lot easier than I was with other subjects. So I think that definitely led me down the engineering route. And now I just really enjoy those subjects. And then what I thought was really amazing about the program when I went to Berkeley was I never got any other reach out from a school like that. It was a whole day event for just women within that program. And it was very personable. All the girls were super friendly. They had girls from all different years of school there, just talking to us about their experience. And they still, even though it was a program to reach out to new girls, they still participate and are still friends to this day. And I really like that idea of I have a community there of women all struggling with similar things and all supporting each other educationally and in their personal lives. And so it was just the idea of the whole program that I think was very supportive. And they were all just really trying to get to know me and trying to reassure me that, well, this is a competitive program. We're all here to help each other. We're all in the same place. And I thought that was really amazing.
I'm so happy to hear that, Izzie. And going to university, you're going to be away from home. You're going to be away from the safety net, being able to talk to mom about everything. You know, your parents are not around, your siblings are not around. So having that community is important. Talk to me a little bit about what are some of the things you're anticipating in this new chapter in your life as you go to college, as you live in the dorm, as you live as a adult, right? Adulting, as young people call
Yeah.
it. How do you see this group of women supporting each other? Because there are complications in life when you get that kind of freedom in a mixed gender environment. And no matter what happens, the harm is to the girl, no matter what, whether it's by choice or by accident, right? And so talk to me a little bit about the strength of knowing that you have that community around you.
Yeah, I think just, well, for me, honestly, in high school, I think how I have succeeded is with my friends around me. I formed a study group of actually women in my high school that we all studied calculus and physics together. And I don't think I would have succeeded the same way that I have without them, because I think having support of like encouragement and women that you can talk through problems with, issues with. I think going to college, I I'm guessing I'm going to feel alone in a lot of moments, as I think many do, just because, yeah, you're away from home and there's just so many new things happening around you, that having women there to support you and just like a community that's like behind your back, or people you can always go to, and just like regular meeting times and stuff like that is really important for me. And definitely educationally, I think I do better when I'm able to discuss an environment that I feel like I'm free to do that in. And so I'm excited for that.
That's really exciting. Two questions are coming to mind. I think I'm going to ask the first one first is what is it about engineering and actually, what is it about being a female engineer? We don't call men, male engineers, but because there are so few women in the engineering field, how do you feel? What are some of the things you anticipate, or has you in your generation even thought about the notion that, hey, this is very much a male dominated world, and how am I going to deal in a male dominated world? Have you had any kind of discussions like that with anyone?
Yeah, I think most often when that comes up is actually when I tell people I'm going into engineering. I think definitely from people in like older generations, one of their first thoughts is, oh my goodness, wow, you're going to be like a woman engineer. So I think that's when it comes up the most, is that like surprise from older generations. I think my high school is very STEM focused. To have like another female student going into a STEM major isn't too surprising of an idea. But I definitely have thought about it, just because that can be an intimidating idea, thinking there's like less of women in the field. But yeah, I think it definitely comes up most from the older generation, because I think now it is a lot more split. Like I've searched up percentage of like people in the program that are women, and it's a lot more half and half than I think it used to be. But there's still surprise there for sure for a lot of people.
You bring up a good point, Izzie. The older generation is still looking at the world through the lens of their own experience. And men went into business, men went into engineering, men went into STEM. And so that's where the questions are coming from. And to you, it's like, hey, no big deal. A lot of us are going into engineering, right? So this is where your generation is going to change the tide. And as more and more women going into these fields, now Robin and I are both in the STEM field. I'm in finance. I met Robin through the finance conferences. So we have been the women in the man's world. So to us, it's joyful to see young women today being able to, without even thinking, going and doing what they want to do, because you were never raised to say that you can't do that. How does it feel as you enter the university and you look at the next step beyond the university? Do you have any thoughts, aspirations as to what type of engineering, what type of work you want to do, what kind of future you want to contribute to?
Yeah, no, I think it's incredible and really exciting, but I think I'm not exactly sure. I'm in as an undeclared engineer major, so I'm within the college, but still undeclared. I think I might like to be a mechanical engineer. What I've looked into the classes, it's a lot of, once again, problem solving, and that's just kind of my type of thing. And there's a lot of workshops at the school and stuff where it's more hands-on. And I'm actually really into art. I took 2 years of AP art in high school, so I feel like if I could get a career outside of college where I'm mixing both the artistic part of myself and using math, that would be my ideal job. I'm not exactly sure what that would be, but that would definitely be what I would want. So I'm looking into mechanical or a civil engineer because I think just like planning things behind the scenes, maybe getting to like help create like designs come to life for cities or buildings and stuff like that using math. Stuff along those lines is definitely what I'm looking for.
I'm really happy you brought up the art concept, because I'd mentioned to Cass that you are a wonderful artist. You're following in your mother's footsteps, Susie Reil, who is an absolutely amazing artist, Susie Reil Art. And so tell us a little bit about how you got into art. Was it only just following what your mom had done, and what art brings to you? And especially as you've mentioned, combining those two worlds. And if you have any piece of art you can hold up and show us right handy, that'd be great too. If you don't, that's okay.
I don't have any art with me, but actually the one behind me is my great grandmother's piece. But so my whole house is full of art, which is really fun. And I didn't do art. Well, I always did like arts and crafts with my mom. I think my mom has always been really incredibly encouraging to like explore our talents. She always put us in like sports and dance. I mostly did dance when I was a kid. And she always encouraged us to try other things. But I think with art, I was definitely very impatient. I would like do a craft with my mom and I didn't like the results. So I just didn't really try again. But when I took it in high school, just because I think I'm very academically motivated, I started putting in more time than I would just at a craft at home. And I started the year during COVID, I started doing it for a class in high school. And my mom helped me out. Like we would paint right next to each other. I didn't really get how to mix colors as well. And like she even has, I have a piece and she has a better one right next to me. Like, and she's showing me how to mix the colors to get the best, like just make it look the best. And so I think that's kind of what got me into art. Is it was just that year during COVID and spending time with my mom, working on pieces, and just with her encouragement, it made it really easy. And I think you also like mentioned mixing the two sides myself. I think I'm just very similar to like my mom and my dad. My dad actually did a master's as an engineer and is now a lawyer. He's very much a math person. He sees things very like one-sided, like problem solver type of guy. But my mom is very much, she wants us to explore. She wants us to question things. She wants us to try everything new. And I think that's definitely made me into the person I am, both of their sides. I think I'm a pretty even mix of both of them. And so, yeah, it's been really cool trying out art. I think it's like different side of me I always get to explore, and it's really great having my mom always encouraging me.
I'm loving what I'm hearing, Izzie. And the beauty of this is your creativity and your ability to see something that is not in front of you because of your artistic creative mindset and your problem solving capability of bringing that to life and make it structurally sound is going to make you a fantastic engineer, regardless of what field you choose. So I'm thrilled and excited. So I want you to make one commitment to us. Stay in touch with us, keep us informed, because at the other end, when you graduate, we want to feature you. We want to feature you, and we want to talk about what you have accomplished and where you're going. Because our goal is to support women of all ages, and you're a young woman who's just starting life. So give us the opportunity to stay with you and support you, and tell us what support looks like. Because we're not in college with you, you're going to have other young women and your professors and engineers around you. What does support look like? And as a young woman entering this field, how do you look for the male allies and allyship of men? Because if we only get support from one gender, you said it beautifully, your mom and dad, right? They complement each other, and together they have built a better foundation for you. How do you plan to build that continually with the right male allyship? Because you need that male perspective too.
Yes, for sure. And thank you so much for having me again. I think how I view like supportive people in my life is it's people that need to allow me to make mistakes without making me feel dumb or not ready for this. It's allowing me to make mistakes and being like, this is going to make you better. And so I'm definitely hoping I can find both female and male professors that are willing to work with me. I definitely like to ask a lot of questions. I want to understand the deeper meaning behind things, because it makes me feel more secure in the lessons I'm learning. And so I'm definitely view support as I'm hope that's coming from professors around me too, along with the male students. I just hope all of the people around me, the community I'm in, is very willing to talk through things with me. I like to talk through problems and figure things out, and hopefully without making me feel like, well, because you don't understand this, you're not ready to be here. That's what I'm most worried for, and I think is when I do become disappointed is when people act like that. So I think the people that will be like my pillars throughout college are the people willing to like let me make mistakes, let me ask questions, and they appreciate that side of me.
Beautiful. I'm loving your answer. And I love Cass's question about, other kinds of support. And I would love to hear about who are some of the other women in your life who have mentored and supported you, to get to where you are now.
Yeah, I think definitely, once again, my mom's just always been encouraging, and she's a very strong personality. And I think when I was younger, definitely much more of a people pleaser. I didn't really stick up for myself for a long time. And I think just being around my mom, like every year, I feel like I get more strong, more willing to stick up for myself. I think also my older sister has been incredibly encouraging. She's majoring in neuroscience in college. And I think it felt probably a lot easier for me going into STEM, like taking all the classes I took in high school because I saw my sister do it all first. I think that made it just seem a lot more realistic to me because another person I know so well has done it. So I think those are definitely really important. And just my younger sister too. I think just having sisters and my mom, they all have really strong personalities and been really encouraging. Also female teachers in my life. I know even my 4th grade teacher, I still keep in contact with her. I just saw her the other day and gave her a hug and told her I'm going to Berkeley. And she stuck out to me because, like, I remember when I was in second grade and like couldn't read, the teacher just told my mom, like, oh, it's okay, some women like aren't meant for a career. And she just wasn't really like trying at all to help me and support me. Like, she kind of just accepted where I was educationally. And I think when I got to fourth grade, that teacher really stuck out because even though I was really struggling in school, she was like, Izzie's got this. She's really smart. She just needs to work on this. And by the end of the year, I remember improving so significantly. And I think it's so much of that is because of the incredible support I had from her and other teachers like her. And so I definitely think a lot of the female teachers in my life have been really important too.
That is so, so nice to hear, Izzie. And it's true. None of us want to be told we're not going to be able to do it, right? And if anybody tells you that you made a mistake, this is not for you, keep in mind two things. One, it took Edison more than 10,000 tries to actually invent the light bulb, because every mistake we make, we eliminate a process that's not going to work. And what I always do for myself and what I tell my students is every evening go out there and look at the moon. It looks different and it's shaped different. And except for the day of the full moon, it's a little less than its whole self, but it's still there. It's still got its light and it's still whole. So whether the whole thing is visible, the whole thing shows up or not, you are still whole, you are still there, and you're doing what you're meant to be. And to me, nature becomes the best teacher. And I draw from that. So if that will be helpful, take that with you, because you're always going to be whole and you're always going to figure out. And you're on a journey that's meant to be. What closing thoughts or messages do you have for other young women and for adults who want to help young women like you?
Yeah, I think the most important is just that cliche of like, keep on trying. I think a lot of the times, one of the biggest things that we put on ourselves is underestimating ourselves. And even if the world is telling us we can do it, we tell ourselves we can't do it. And I think it's really important to reinforce to yourself that you're stronger than you think you are, you're smarter than you think you are. And despite trial and error, just like trying again, I don't think I would have gotten to where I am if I didn't keep on trying classes I thought were going to be too hard or classes I thought I was going to fail in. It's taking those risks. And I think for people trying to encourage younger women, I think it's just important to be there for them during those mistakes and just reinforcing what I just said, telling them they are like stronger and smarter than they think they are, because I think that was really important for me to hear throughout my life and has definitely led me to where I am now.
Beautiful. Izzie, as we wrap up here, and we say this at every interview, the time just flies right by. But why don't you let people know how they can get a hold of you if you feel comfortable doing that, and then Cass will wrap it up.
Perfect. You can get a hold of me through my email, which would be like isabelle.j.reil@gmail.com, or through my number 818-679-7150.
Thank you so much, Izzie. This has been an absolute delight. You have made our day, and I know our audience are going to absolutely love you. You're going to inspire a lot of young women and actually motivate a lot of older women to step in and help young women go into fields that older generations don't think that is meant to be for women. Any person can be anything they choose to be. And thank you. Thank you so much for showing up and reminding the world that each young girl, each young boy can grow up to be whatever they want to be. We wish you the best. We look forward to staying in touch with you. And to our audience out there, keep stepping into the unusual, the unexpected, and keep lifting each other up, because we never know who we're going to inspire. We never know what a beautiful journey another young person is going to take. And that's what this is about. Let's help each other. Let's lift each other up. And throughout the process, let's keep celebrating each other, celebrating life, and celebrating the young ones. We help thrive and we help shine.
Thank you so much for having me.